friends, it's Sheree from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing tonight? Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me. I'm here with this month's Craft Our Stash cards, which is a collaboration with Deb Houck's Crafty Cottage, and there's a few other collaborators, and I will have them linked below. We all are making cards every month on the 15th. We post our videos, so I made a few before I turned on the camera, and I think we're going to have time to make one together. So let me just show you what I'm doing. So last month I made 4. If you saw last month's video, every month on the 15th. So these are the 3 that I made so far this month. So I have been using my white cardstock as a base, and I make my own bases. And then I used, this month, I was kind of trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I went up into my closet on the top shelf where I have my Christmas stuff stashed. And I found this paper pad that I had bought last year on clearance after Christmas at Michael's. And I really don't even shop at Michael's that much. In fact, I haven't been back since I bought this last year after Christmas. But I had received a gift card for Christmas, and so I went by there after Christmas and picked up this and a few other things. But let me show you how pretty this is. I pulled out the cut apart, so I've got them all cut apart, and I will show you those. It's one-sided cardstock. And I'm not going to go through every page, but just a little flip here to give you an idea of. When I saw this last year, I was like, oh, wouldn't that be cool to make some, you know, pink themed Christmas items, journals or whatever, you know, this year. Look at this Santa page. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, pink Santa. So really pretty, kind of pink and gold and sparkly in some places. These are like 6x6 pieces. This is fur with a pink hue and white. Some grays. This is pretty. But anyway, you get the picture. Here's some ornaments, like with a little shiny bling there. So really pretty paper pad, and I might pull one of those out in a minute. But yeah, so I did the cut aparts. I've got them all here. I've been working with. I cut. There were 2 pages of. Let me show you. Strips like this. Great for making cards, right? So lots of pretty strips. There were some labels like this on the strip cards. There's a bunch of these here. I just kind of got them. I had them sorted, and then I was working with them, moving them around, so now they're all mixed up. But so much for organization. But here's some of the little like 3x4 cards like this that I figure would be good for using on the front of a card. So this is what I'm working with. So anyway, these were the biggest pieces. They're like, what, 4x6? And so I did those first and made these two cards. I used some little stickers on the front here. And then this one doesn't have anything inside yet, but I'm going to put a sentiment in there. And I found some envelopes in my stash because I'm always buying cards, right? And usually end up using the cards in my journals, and then I have all the envelopes left. So perfect little opportunity for me to use some. This sentiment I cut out of or a little kind of like a poem, The Language of Snow. It was in an Ideals magazine, so I cut that out, put that on the inside, and I did decorative corners here and rounded the corners up there so it would be pretty when you open the card. I can sign down here or write a little note up here on the top. So those are kind of pretty much ready to go, except for I'm going to add a sentiment in here when I have some here cut out, but I want to find one that's the right shape. So I have lots of Ideals magazines, so I'll go through those and find another sentiment for that one. And then this is another one I made from one of the journaling cards. I've already got a little sentiment in here with one of the little strips to decorate the inside. I did the little corner punches here, and I'll show you how I do that if you haven't seen that before, because I don't have a corner punch. I have an edge punch that I do that with. A pink doilies that I had picked up at a thrift store, and this little Santa from the paper pad, and I also found an envelope to fit this one. So last month I made my cards to fit specifically in the envelopes, so I cut my paper to fit in envelopes. This month I made my cards first and then found envelopes for them to fit into. So we're all set to to mail those as soon as we're, I'm just, I have them with the envelope, so when Christmas comes, I can, be ready to mail those. So I thought I'd work on this one next. And I have my base here, and I have a card, and I was fooling around with these pieces here, thinking I would do something like this. So just to give you an idea, you don't have to do anything really complicated to make a pretty handmade card. So I was going to do this, but I kind of have an urge to take a piece of the big 12 by 12 cardstock out here and make a little back for this card. I just want to see what that would look like. So let's pull one out that we think would match. I mean, a lot of these have the gold. I just want an overall pattern, but something with gold in it, I think, to go. I mean, this would look good on anything in here. I think you can see pretty good here. I brought you up so you can see my whole area here. Even this one, see, that would look good, wouldn't it? But you really couldn't see. You couldn't see really exact. Well, I guess you could see depending on how you do it. But let's see what else. There's one on the front of the paper here that I thought if I could find this one with the stars, that would be neat. So let's see if we can find that one real quick. I don't want the fur. I don't want the 6x6. This one would look pretty with a little kind of shimmery, glittery looking, not glittery, but kind of a shimmery looking page, as far as like the little kind of like look like lights or something shining out from somewhere, sparkling on that page. Here it is. See, this one looks like it would be pretty perfect. So I want to try this one. Yes. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, isn't this pretty? And it's got the gold, and I think it'll be prettier than those strips. Oh, here's my paper punch, or my, edge punch that I used for my corner punch. I don't have a decorative corner punch, so I just use this. And if I have time, I will show you how I do that tonight. But let's cut this piece real quick to kind of make a little mat for our card here, the front of our card. I'm going to have a little white border around, but not too much. But I want to, let's see, cut about right there. I'm using art glitter glue and Fabri-Tac tonight. That's what I've used so far on my cards that I just showed you. So I'm really having fun with this. I started last month. Was the first month I worked on Christmas cards for this year. We've been doing this collab all year since January. And last month I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun just to make 4 Christmas cards every month? Then when it comes around to time to send some cards out, I'll have some ready. So let's see, little border. Okay, so the bottom, you can see I'm just measuring with my fingers here. I don't want to, sometimes I make a little fold mark so I can see where to cut. That's how I measure, usually, if I can get away with it. So there we have a little mat, a little sparkly mat. Now let me see if that's going to be the right sparkly enough for me. I might need it. This piece has more stars on it. I might need to use that. Yeah, see, I'm covering up all my stars. Okay, I'm going to need to use this piece. Okay, let's have a do-over here. See, this one has more stars on it. But where's my piece? Yes, I want this one. Okay, well, that covers up the stars too, doesn't it? Well, darn it. You know what? Let me see. I have another little sparkly card here. Gold card. This one. I wonder if this would be better. Yes, I think it would possibly be better. Then I'm not covering up on my stars. Okay, but this has a little edge I need to cut off here from the card that was beside it when I cut it apart. Okay. We can change our mind. It's all right. Okay. I think that would have looked good, but I was covering up all the stars, so that's no good. All right, let's try this. Now I need to cut again. About right here. A little fold. I had my scoreboard out here. It was taking up so much room. and I wasn't using it, so I said, well, let me get rid of this and put this away. Okay, so that is going to be pretty. Let's see, there's more stars on the top here. I'm going to put those at the top, and then get something like this. Pretty, right? Okay, let's do it. I'm going to use, I guess I'll use art glitter glue on both of these. When I did the doily one, I used Fabri-Tac to get that glue down. I used art glitter glue on here just in case you're, getting used to glues. And then I used Fabri-Tac on the card to get it glued down onto the doily so everything, was nice and solidly glued down. I don't use tape runner glue, tape runner to glue my cards together because I'm just not used to using that. I'm just used to using glues, so I just use glues. It's easier for me than trying to learn how to use a tape runner. So, and I feel secure in the glue that's going to hold everything down. So I just stick with my glues. That's what I'm used to. Okay, so let's kind of center this. Got my sparkly, most of my stars at the top, so they will show up over my little centerpiece journaling card. And this one says, all is calm, all is bright. Let me make sure. It looks like there's a tiny like white strip there I need. I'm not doing any distressing on these or anything. These are not vintage. I don't think they call for any distressing. And I don't think I've done any distressing on my cards. So, all right, yeah, that looks better. I had a little strip there from the other card, it looked like, where I cut it apart. So cut that off now. Oh, I think it's raining. It rained earlier before I got home from work here. Everything was wet when I got home, and now sounds like it's raining again. I need to go and put my plants for my deck out in the rain so they can get some water. Okay, so now these aren't the same color, but they all came from the same paper pad, so I think they all go together. I'm going to try to center this and get it straight. And I think that's going to make a really pretty card. All our little gold glitter there. Probably like making all kinds of glare in the camera, but let me show you. Isn't it pretty? And I'll put something. Let me see if I have any sentiments I'd want to put inside. And I'm going to call this done. I'll go in my stash and find an envelope. Let me show you what else I have. I have these little stars that I bought last year at Michael's too when I was there spending my gift card. I bought these little called table scatters. They're like little kind of chipboard pieces, or they almost feel like thin wood, like thicker than chipboard, but I'm hoping to use these on some cards too, so I got to figure that out. Because those are red and green and black. So I'll figure that out maybe for next month. But let me see if I have a sentiment here that we can glue in real quick. Let me see. And I'll show you, I'll just give you an example here real quick of how I do my my corner punch, my edge punch on a corner of, say I did it on that card that I showed you, this one here. How I did that right there, I just, in case you haven't seen it done before, I just line up my paper with my the center little punch here. Make sure it's all on the piece that you're punching. Make sure the decorative piece is all on your paper, because you don't want it going off the edge, then you don't get the whole punch. And it doesn't look as good. It looks kind of like wonky. So get all your paper under there, your corner, and make sure your little decorations all got paper under it, I guess I should say. And then you just punch, and there you have a pretty little corner like that. See that? Isn't that pretty? That's how I do my decorative corner punches, so I don't have to buy a separate corner punch. Okay, so this is a nice little, let's see, what is this? Yeah, this is a little sentiment about Christmas. I mean, that's what all these are that I cut out from a Christmas Ideals magazine edition. And it talks about Santa Claus and lights and things, so this would be cute to glue down in here. I think I will just See, I'm not doing my decorative punch on these corners because I don't want to cut off any of the words, but I can just go ahead and round the corners and make it a little bit prettier. And I'm not layering these. I don't want my card to be too thick and heavy for when I mail it. You know, and put another layer of cardstock in here. So I'm just gluing these down by themselves and giving myself plenty of room to write dear somebody, you know, something down here, sign it, and I can write another little note over here. But I think it's just fun to have a little sentiment in here or a poem or something, just like a regular card that you would buy in the store. And not, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with leaving it blank. I usually do that, you know, so this is something different for me to put a little something in here and kind of make it like a card that you would buy from the store with a little poem or something in here to read when whoever gets this can read this little pretty little poem here or story or whatever it is. Okay. Pretty neat. So, okay, another one done, and I'll look for a card for this. So, this month, I went with the pink theme. Rediscovered my pink Christmas paper pack, and made 4 cards here. 4 pretty cards that I can send out. And I'm going to add an envelope for this one, and then a sentiment for this one. And I'll have myself 4 more cards, so that's 8 altogether. Can't wait for Christmas to send these out now because they are super cute and fun to make. So I hope that was a little bit of inspiring for you, and that you make yourself some cards. You don't have to get you don't have to get all complicated. I didn't even really have to do the stickers here. I could have just put that on there, and you don't have to put a sentiment here and just write a note to your friend or your family, and there you go. You have a nice little pretty Christmas card. So thanks for watching today, and I will see you next month on the 15th. Come back and see what kind of Christmas cards I make for next month. So thanks for watching tonight, and happy crafting. Everyone have a great weekend. See you next time.